Hey, welcome to my new episode of Tiddy's Music Guidance, Music Recommendations. Today we've got an awesome playlist of great tunes that I'm going to recommend to you, and we also have interview exclusive with the American band 10 Million Lights. Now, let's get on with the show. So the track I'm going to be recommending first is a really cool tune called To Die in LA. This alternative indie tune is from Baltimore-based American band Lower Dens, and it comes from their third album. Now this song is great. It's like a cross between Beach House, the drums, and it also has thrown into it is like Johnny Marr Smith's-esque guitar playing riffs throughout the song, especially in the chorus, and I think that's probably why I love the track so much, being obviously a big Smiths fan and obviously pine for the band. The chorus is just so alluring to listen to. It's catchy and it really brings back the sounds of the Smiths when you hear them beautiful guitar chimes throughout the chorus. Let's have a listen. Elements of a really upbeat indie song with some 1960s sounds thrown in at the same time. It's just when you hear them guitar chimes, it's just brilliant, and this is what really makes the song really stand out. So check it out. I'm recommending another track by a band called Second Still, and this song is called New Violet. This is a dark and menacing tune. A pulsing synth is the backbone to this song and is joined by a descending bass riff that drags the listener into the mood of the song. I especially love about this song is when the beat drops towards the end of the song. It really turns it up a notch. It almost turns into a horror scene with an added upbeat sound, and I can just imagine if you listen to this in a club, it will probably go down pretty well with the crowd, and it just really makes the song. So check it out. Here's a song that I've heard over and over and over again, and it's not really it didn't really do well in the mainstream when it was released, but it's actually a favourite amongst the gothic rock scene, especially from the early 80s. Now the song that I'm recommending is a song called Last Year's Wife, and by the band Zero La Creche. Now this is the band's most well-known and famous track, but it didn't really do well in the mainstream, but as I said, you know, it's a favourite amongst the fans. It was made in 1984, and even though it's not really well known, I just think it's an absolutely beautiful song. It's like a cross between an upbeat Bauhaus and also very early The. So here's a listen.
It's just a phase of youth will fade, and you'll be gone. The young man's beauty won't last for long. Sometimes anger will tear us apart. Fever that grips us is breaking our heart.
The track is just irresistible. It's also heartbreaking at the same time. The track has soaring vocals and a really catchy guitar hook. The band's success was short-lived and they released 1 or 2 songs after this, but they just kind of disappeared from the music scene. And it's quite sad because it's a really, really great song, and just wished it would have had more of, a more success. But just give it a listen. It's an absolutely beautiful track, and I really, really recommend this song. The next track I'm recommending is a song called From Afar by the KVB. The KVB are a band I've got into quite a lot recently, and just their sound is different. They're dark, they're post-punk, they're moody, and some of the guitar riffs that they come up with mixed with the synthesizer sounds is just great. Now, they're a duo from England. The track I'm recommending to you is from the brilliant EP Out of Body. Now, it was hard to pick one of the best songs from the EP, but I find that this track is absolutely great. EP was actually recorded in Anton Newcomb's from the Brian Jonestown Massacre's Berlin studio. From Afar has a real dark and erratic sound to it, and what it also has in it is real dark, echoey guitar riffs and a real captivating synthesizer sound that really grips you to the song. It's just absolutely brilliant and it's irresistible to listen to. What I also recommend is actually giving the whole EP from start to finish a listen to, because it is one of the best, EPs I've heard in years. So check it out. The next track I'm going to go through is a band called Soft Metals, and the song is called No Turning Back. Now, Soft Metals are an electronic duo band from Portland, Oregon. No Turning Back is taken from their second album, Lenses, and this track is just cool. It's really, really cool. It's great to listen to, so have a listen. It's futuristic, but has a real sweet beats, which turns this track into a really catchy dark electronic industrial dancehall. It's a real head nodding track that blends in so well with the dance music too. It's just a great tune. An indie classic from a really great underrated band. Now, if you haven't heard the news already, the Pixies are back. Now, 2020 needed a return of a legend, and it looks like we've got some good news after once, because the Pixies are finally returning. They're a really underrated band. They don't get the recognition that they actually deserve, which is quite sad, because the albums that they've produced are absolutely brilliant, and they're really popular here over in the UK. The track I'm recommending today is Allison from their third album, Bossa Nova. Now, this absolute beauty of a song has some very quick drumming, some thrashing guitar strumming, and a perfectly timed tight bass. Riff is edgy, distorted and eccentric. The thing is, when you listen to it before you know it, it's over. And I think this is what makes the track an absolute great joy to listen to. And it's just a quick, awesome track. So this is for the return of the Pixies, who are a band I've missed quite a lot. We have a special feature on our episode today. Now we're joined by a band called 10 Million Lights. We have an exclusive interview with them, and before we go over to America to have an interview with them, we're going to listen to their brand new track, Comatose. From Portland, Oregon, and they've just released, as I said, they've just released their new single Comatose, and their brand new EP Shine So Bright. They've released a video for every single track on the album. Their new EP showcases an emotional roller coaster of desperation, rage, hope, and finally peace. Join me as I speak to the band over in the US as they sit by the campfire. Hey guys, thanks so much for taking your time out to speak to me. I really appreciate your time that you're giving up to. So we're doing this to get to know you guys a bit more. So let's get down to the questions. So how would you describe your music to people that don't really know your sound or have never heard your music before?
I would call it loud music for sensitive folks.
I like stadium shoegaze.
Loud and psychedelic rock.
Noisy, dreamy, sexy cool.
Cool. If you could sum up your music or your new work in 3 words, what would it be?
Do it yourself.
That's pretty good. That's really good. We did a lot of that on Shine So Bright.
Yeah, like maybe like swirly, shiny, intense.
Who are you inspired by?
Ride, My Bloody Valentine, Spiritualized, Swerve Driver, Jesus and Mary Chain.
That feeling that you get when you put on distortion and reverb and feedback.
Smashing Pumpkins without the singing. Jane's Addiction.
Yeah. Thin Lizzy and Guns N' Roses for me.
Yeah.
And Lush and Curve and did we already say Ride?
We could say them again, they're worth it.
Right. Slow Dive.
Slow Dive.
Cocteau Twins a bit.
Yeah.
The Boo Radleys.
Catherine Wheel.
Oh, shoot. You win, man. You win that one. Shoot.
Catherine Wheel.
Man. Should have had that.
But also Iron Maiden.
There's some Iron Maiden too. Absolutely.
How's growing up from where you are from influenced your sound?
So I grew up in San Diego, and there were so many good local bands in the 90s in San Diego. It's kind of ridiculous. I never even looked outside of San Diego for good music, because bands like 3 Mile Pilot and Jejune and Boilermaker and Tristeza, and all of you should go listen to all these bands because they're really good.
I grew up in Wisconsin, loving a San Diego band called Rocket from the Crypt.
Oh yeah, Rocket.
Another San Diego band. But I think growing up in the Midwest and then coming out to Portland, like the winters are miserable and you're stuck inside, and the best thing you can do is create. And I kind of feel like it's the same thing in Portland, where it's these rainy, drizzly months, and like I'd much rather just be in the garage writing songs, and that's what I do in the winters.
And I grew up around here in a small logging town near Seattle and Olympia. And so grew up on all of those grunge and K Records bands and kind of had this split personality of liking the beautiful shoegaze and the heavy distorted nastiness of Mudhoney and that kind of stuff. And so I think, yeah, honestly, I still go down that heavy, dirty pathway naturally, and just feels right.
I grew up in a small town in Western Michigan, so I had to spend 4 or 5 hours driving to Detroit or Chicago to see decent shows, and so I spent a ton of that time just listening to Smashing Pumpkins and The Cure on the radio and playing drums on the steering wheel. So I think drums on the steering wheel while commuting to the big cities.
Cool. What are your plans for the future?
We are putting out a remix EP coming out of really cool local bands who are remixing some of the songs from our last record. That's going to be fun. And it's the 10th anniversary of our very first record, and so we're putting out some remixes from that. Just re-recordings, which will be fun. So.
And we're writing new songs and recording new songs this whole time too, so it's not just rehashing the old.
Yeah, we've got basically a whole album written.
Yeah.
Waiting for us to get back in studio.
Awesome. And lastly, what advice do you have for any future musicians or anyone looking to start out in the music industry?
Yeah, like only play music if you, or only play an instrument for music if you love it. If not, just get a production.
Well, and like
Waste
do
your
it,
life that way.
like do it for the right reasons. Like if you're just trying to do it to become famous, don't do it. If you do it because you love doing it, you'll do it forever.
I would also say beware of people in your band that don't practice at home. Anybody who says they want to like make it as a musician but they don't practice at home, just kick them out of the band immediately and find somebody else.
Unless they're
Why'd
an
you look at me when you said that?
I'm not you. I'm just,
Unless they're an engineer.
I was meant to look
In that
at
case.
Or supposed to fire you.
unless they have the trust fund. Which case, let them pay for everything. That's their role.
Yeah, so maybe what we're saying is like understand band dynamics.
And when you
right?
say practice, that means like when I was earlier sitting down on cross-legged on the floor, twisting pedal knobs and playing one note. Does that count as practice?
Well, that is a good point. To like be in a band with people that you really like. That's good advice.
Oh, and also know lots of other musicians. You kind of have to do that. If the question is your younger one getting into, you have to know a lot of musicians.
Yeah. Go to shows. Back
Go-
home, my
yeah.
gosh, shows. Remember shows?
You have to go to shows.
Yeah.
Go shows.
Guys, thank you so much for answering the questions. That was absolutely awesome, and some of them answers were really cool. I absolutely love the brand new single Comatose. I can't stop playing it, and I really enjoyed the EP too. So give them guys a listen, 10 Million Lights, and really give a listen to that EP because it sounds so good. Cheers guys, take care, and I really hope that we speak very, very soon. Cheers.
We're 10 Million Lights.
10 Million Lights.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
So that's it for the show today. I hope you've enjoyed that. My next episode, I have got a top 10 episode, and it's going to be my favourite band of all time, and that band is The Smiths. A band I've grown up from my teenage years, my adult life, absolutely loving everything that band has done. This is my tribute to Morrissey, Marl, Rourke and Joyce. Absolutely love that band. Don't forget, subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and remember, if you're interested, come and drop me an email, and I look forward to hearing from you. So, playing out of the song today is 10 Million Lights and Comatose. From me, see you later.